Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon, sir and press. From Group 2, we're about to present our presentation about the material about the entity company for course legal aspect of digital business. Before we get started into our first material, I would like to introduce our group member. The group 2 consists of 5 person, which is Arifin Ilham, Edkina Rahma, Diva F. Kaputra, Rafa Syabira Syahida, and also Yusma Diana. So, without further ado, let's dive into our first material about the what is business entity that will be explained by Putra. So, Putra, time is yours.
Okay, first material. Business entity is an organizational structure that determines how business is taxed, how ownership and legal responsibilities are shared, and how the business operate in legal and financial aspect. Choosing the type of business entity is critical as it affects various aspects of company operation, including legal obligation, taxation, as well as the way profit are distributed to owners or shareholders. In many cases, individual or group of people set up business entities to reduce the risk that can be borne personally when running a business, as some types of entities provide legal protections to the owner personal asset. There are different types of business entity to choose from, with its own characteristic, advantage and disadvantage. The types of entity also determine the extent to which an individual is liable for the company debts and obligation. Next types of business entity. Uh, First, limited liability company is a legal entity formed through an agreement between the founder to carry out business activities with an authorized capital that is entirely divided into share. Uh, PT is the most commonly used business entity in Indonesia due to its flexible ownership structure through share ownership. And second, cooperative. A cooperative is a legal entity based on family principles and aims to improve the economic welfare of its member. Unlike PT, cooperative are not oriented towards individual profit, but rather on empowering members through joint business activities. Comparative member can consist of individual or other comparative legal entities with a democratic decision system, one member, one vote. Okay, the last limited partnership. Limited partnership is a form of business consisting of a less one general partner and one limited partner. General partner have full responsibility for business operation and bear all risk and legal obligation without limits. Meanwhile, limited partners are only responsible for the capital they invest and do not participate in business management. Okay, thank you.
Right, thank you very much for the file. And the next material will be explained by Ilham.
Okay, thank you, moderator. I will explain about regulation and legal basis of entity business in Indonesia. Governing business entities. The first is UU number 14 years 2007 Unlimited Liability Company regulate the establishment, management, and dissolution of company as the most commonly used legal entity in business in Indonesia. The next, UU number 17 years 2000, 2012 on corporate regulation business entities in the form of corporative based on the principle of this business. UU number 3 years 19 1942 on compulsory company registration regulate the obligation to register a company to obtain business legality. The next, regulation on digital business. The law of the regulation on digital business is UU number 11 years 2008, UU number 19 years 2018 on electronic information and transaction regulate the implementation of electronic system, electronic transaction on and the protection of personal data and digital business. Next is Permendag number 15 years 2000 2020 on provision for business licensing, advertising, guidance, and supervision of business actor in trading through electronic systems, specifically regulate e-commerce and marketplace. Next slide, please. Okay. For the digital-based business licensing, if there is nomor induk perusahaan or NIB, and then B, online single submission or OSS, C, required business license, D, business specific requirement. Next, compliance obligation. Compliance obligation is for protection of user personal data, electronic system security, periodic reporting to relevant agency, digital tax payment, fulfillment of technical standard according to regulation, sanction and supervision, administrative sanction up to licensing revocation, financial fines, service blocking, supervision by multiple regulations like Kominfo, OJK, BI, and others. Next, I give back to moderator.
Right, thank you very much for Ilham about the explanation. Good. The next material is explained by Diana. So Diana, time is yours.
Okay, thank you for moderator. For this presentation, I will be explain about steps for establishing a limited liability company or PT. The first step is determining the company's article of association. The establishment of a PT must be based on a notarial deed. The first step in establishing a PT is to determine the company's article of association. These articles of associations are then incorporated into the PT's establishment deed. The second step is creating a PT establishment deed before a notary. The PT establishment deed contains the articles of associations and other information related to the company's information. In drafting the deed, the founders may be represented by another person through a power of attorney. The third step is submitting legal entity approval to the Ministry of Law and Human Rights. A company obtains legal entity status on a date a minister issues a decree approving the company's legal entity status. The next step is obtaining a business identification number or NIB through online single submission or OSS. The PT establishment deed then serves as the basis for registering business permits through the OSS system. OSS is an electronic system regulated under Government Regulation Number 24 of 2018. The next step is registering for taxpayer identification number or NPWP and value added tax or VAT registration. Once the PT becomes a legal entity, it's considered a new legal subject with rights and obligations. One of the obligations that must be fulfilled is obtaining a taxpayer identification number and submitting annual tax report. The next step is obtaining operational license and additional permits. With the enactment of Government Regulation Number 24, the licensing system in Indonesia has fundamentally changed. OSS is intended to facilitate entrepreneurs in obtaining business legality. And the last step is opening a business bank account. The company's establishment deed must include the objectives and purposes that must be filled in accordance with KBLI 2020. Stating the activities in the Articles of Association plays crucial roles. Registration through online single submission or OSS. So what is OSS? OSS system was introduced to simplify the business licensing process in Indonesia. By using these platforms, entrepreneurs can register and manage various permits online, including environmental permits, business licenses, and location permits. What is the purpose of OSS? Government Regulation Number 24 also regulates various types of permits that business actors in Indonesia can access, whether they are micro, small, medium, or large enterprises. Through the OSS system, business actors can apply for business licenses and monitor the status of their applications transparently and quickly. Step for business registration in OSS. To obtain business legality, entrepreneurs must first register their company through OSS. After that, they will receive a business identification number or NIB, which also serves as a basic business license. Subsequently, business actors can apply for additional permits according to the needs of their business sector. Advantage of the OSS system. The risk-based OSS system allows the business licensing process to be adjusted according to the risk level of the business activities being carried out. Low-risk businesses will obtain permits more quickly than high-risk business that require more in-depth evaluations. And the last one, challenges in implementing OSS. Although OSS aims to simplify licensing, challenges remain in its implementation, particularly for small business actors in remote areas who have limited internet access and understanding of business legality procedures. The next material is about tax obligations and legal administration of digital business. Legality requirement for operating a legal business. There are three main legalities must be met. The first one is taxpayer identification number or NPWP. This NPWP used for tax purpose. Second one is trading business license, required for conducting business activity. And the last one, business identification number or NIB, identity and basic license to start a business. The second one is legal consequences of failing to register a limited liability company or PT. The company's legal status is not recognized. If not officially registered, the company has no legal protection, difficulty in business transaction. A company without legality cannot access banking facilities, apply for loans, or cooperate with other businesses legally. Next is potential administrative sanctions of fines. Violating PT registration rules could result in fines or other sanctions. Unable to sue or be sued legally. In the case of legal disputes, a company without legality may face difficulties in obtaining legal protection. So that's all my explanation. Back to moderator.
Thank you very much for Diana about the explanation. For the next material will be explained by Rafa. So Rafa, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, so moderator. Please next slide, moderator. Oh, sorry, can you next slide? Oh, okay, thank you. So today I will present about the legal difference between physical and digital business as business go digital, laws and regulation also change. Okay, so the one big difference is contrast about physical business use written contracts. So while digital business rely on electronic contract and digital signature. In terms of regulation, physical business follow trade laws, while digital business must also comply with e-commerce laws and data protection regulation like GDPR. And for jurisdictional and dispute resolution, physical business follow local laws, while digital business faces border legal issues, consumers protection. It also different physical business rely on national laws, while digital business must handle data security and online payment risks. And next. Then other key difference include security when digital business face higher cyber crime risks and net stranger and encryption. Intellectual property is also a concern. Physical business focus on trademarks and patents, while digital business must protect domain, software, and digital assets. And then about tax is simpler for physical business, but more complex for digital business due to global transaction. And next, even though digital business face more legal challenges, they also have big advantage. And then they have four advantage of digital business entities. They offer flexibility, meaning they don't need a physical store. They can reach more customers, have a lower cost, and can automate many processes. And then, however, digital business also face challenges like changing laws, cybersecurity risks, and top global competition. And next. Okay, the great example of this difference about digital business entities is, if you can see this picture in PowerPoint, is Alfamart as a physical business and Shopee as a digital business. So Alfamart operates through physical stores, follow local business laws, and handles dispute through national courts. And Shopee, on the other hand, operates online, deals with cross-border transaction, and must handle legal issues related to e-commerce, data security, and global taxes. It also needs strong cybersecurity to protect users from fraud. So physical and digital business have different legal structure affecting everything from contract to taxes. So I think that's all for me. Thank you. I will back to moderator.
Thank you very much for Rafa about the explanation. For the last material will be explained by me. The last material is legal protection for digital entity business. First, we have to know about the rights and obligation of digital business owners. For the rights, the first one, the right to manage and control the business in all aspects of the business, which means that as business owners have the right to manage and control all aspects of the business, including planning, operation, and innovation. But they have to require the approval of other parties. The second one is right to business profit in proportion to ownership based on the contract for the business. The third one is business owners have the right to sell or transfer ownership to other individuals, group, or companies, but they have to ensure that the deal is legal and compliant. The fourth is own intellectual property rights atau or haki. Haki is the right to obtain legal protection for the intellectual property based on the provision of laws and regulation. The fifth one is according to Article 6 of Law Number 8, year 1999, business actors are entitled to receive payment according to the agreement, receive legal protection, defend themselves in disputes, rehabilitation of good name if it innocent, and other rights in accordance with the law. Then move into the obligation of digital business owners, which based on Law Number 8, year 1999, business actors are obligated to be honest, make good faith, provide correct information, serve fairly, guarantee quality, and compensate in case of loss. Number 2, according to Article 95, Paragraph 1 of Law Number 7, year 2014, digital business actors must provide complete information comply with the ITE law and not sell or goods or service that do not match the description. The third one, obligation to protect customer data as stipulated in the IT law. Number 4, every digital business must have legality such as operational license, letter legality, and that will be brings more obligations such as tax payment, social responsibility, and also employment protection. And then perlindungan hak kekayaan intelektual or HKI in digital business. HAKI or IPR is the right to obtain legal protection for intellectual property based on the provision of laws and regulation. Intellectual property rights include copyrights, patents, trademarks, industrial design, and other forms of intellectual property. In business, in digital era, many startup companies or even companies still don't pay attention to the existence of intellectual property rights. Intellectual property rights also have a big contribution to the smooth running of business. If a business doesn't have intellectual property rights, then the consequence that must be borne is the use of intellectual property without permission so that business cannot grow. The condition is unfair competition, especially in the digital era. Even the heaviest risk is the threat to stop selling a product. The next is legal risks in digital business and how to mitigate. Legal risks in digital business face various impact to their operation and reputation. One of the main risks is personal data protection breach. This violation can occur due to data leaks or unauthorized use of consumer data, potentially leading to administrative sanctions and lawsuits from the customer. And second, digital contracts that don't comply with regulation are also a challenge. The use of standardized clauses that harm consumers can lead to lawsuits and fines for companies. Another risk is that the violation of intellectual property rights or IPR, such as the unauthorized use of product image, logos, or content that may be violate the copyright and trademark law. The last one is on the taxation side, which non-compliance with digital taxes is also a big risk, especially since the enactment of regulation that require e-commerce or digital business, to pay value-add tax. Failure to fulfill tax obligation can lead to heavy financial penalties as well as stricter scrutiny from tax authorities. Then, how to mitigate risks? To manage these legal risks, companies need to implement several strategic steps. Include periodic legal audits should be conducted to ensure all business operations are in accordance with regulation. And then, strong cybersecurity must also be implemented to protect consumer data and avoid information leaks. In addition, digital contracts should be reviewed by the legal team so as not to violate consumer rights. The last one, in terms of intellectual property rights, company must ensure that all material used have official license. And that's all the end of our explanation about the presentation. Um, we apologize if we have any mistakes in our behavior or information. Thank you very much for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.